Hi, everyone. I think some people were needing me to read this out loud, so I'm going to read it for you. If you don't need that, that's okay. You don't have to watch this video. I'm going to read to you the article Exploring Machu Picchu, Lost City of the Incas by Christy Hawes Zatkin. And I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to move around the page so that you can really see what I'm reading. So first I'll read the caption to this picture. Machu Picchu at sunrise. The sacred peak of Huayna Picchu is in the background. Now I'm here. I'm going to start reading the text. From a high cliff in the Peruvian Andes, I stared down at the ruins of Machu Picchu, the mysterious lost city of the Incas. I had traveled far to South America to uncover the city's history, but soon discovered that would be impossible. My guide, Jamie Vasquez, whose ancestors were Incas, and I walked down to the ruins on a wide stone path called the Inca Trail. From the trail, we could see how the city sits on a narrow ridge between two mountaintops, 8,500 feet above sea level. Both sides of the ridge are steep. The stone walls that surround and protect the city were often built right to the edge of sheer cliffs. At the city gate, another guide joined us. Chapulin, a shaggy dog, lives at the ruins and knows all the trails and hidden paths. I'm going to read this caption to this picture here. Jamie Vasquez and the author at the city's entrance gate. Notice the massive lintel and fitted stones that show the gate's importance. Among the ruins, Jamie and Chapulin took me to the Temple of the Sun. At dawn, on the June solstice, the shortest day of the year, the sun shines straight through a window that faces east. Peru is in the southern hemisphere, so its seasons are the opposite of those in the northern hemisphere. The huge stones of the curved temple fit together perfectly. Everywhere in Machu Picchu, the stones are crafted with the talent of an artist and the precision of an architect. From there, we walked to the king's room. The top of the doorway, the lintel, is a rectangular stone that weighs about 5,000 pounds. Wow. How could something so heavy be raised into place? No one knows for sure, but all the important rooms at Machu Picchu have lintels. I tried to imagine what these 4 stone walls without a roof looked like 500 years ago when the Incas lived here. A thick woven mat would have stretched between the high peaks of the end walls as a roof. The walls would have been warmed with bright tapestries and the seating areas with soft llama skins. Jamie, Chapulin, and I wandered through the maze of pathways and rooms. We crossed the grassy plazas where llamas watched as through long eyelashes. Where llamas watched us through long eyelashes. We walked up hundreds of stone steps to the highest point in the city, the sundial, or hitching post of the sun. The Inca priests read the sundial's shadows and charted the seasons. When the Spanish invaded Peru in the 1500s, they wanted to convert the Incas to Christianity. Because temples and sundials were part of the Incas' religion, the Spanish destroyed them in every Inca city they occupied. The temples and sundial in Machu Picchu are still standing. So the Spanish must not have found the lost city. Why not? One idea is that Machu Picchu was so sacred, no Inca would think of revealing its whereabouts. That's interesting. So here it says, hundreds of years ago, the Incas ruled an empire that covered Colombia to Chile, but no one knows for sure why they lived at Machu Picchu. This section is called Solving Machu Picchu's Mystery. Standing by the sundial, I thought about some of the theories archaeologists have about the city. Was Machu Picchu a sacred city? It has at least 4 temples, a lot for a city with 600 to 1,000 people. Its dramatic setting between 2 sacred peaks at the top of a sacred valley and circled on 3 sides by a sacred river makes a strong case for that theory. Perhaps it was a place where pilgrims came, like Jerusalem for Jews and Christians, or Mecca for Muslims. Oh, this keeps going away. I imagined a procession of pilgrims walking down the Inca Trail wearing both breastplates and bracelets and colorful tunics woven from the wool of alpacas, long-haired relatives of llamas. They are coming to celebrate the June solstice. Was Machu Picchu a province capital for farming? The Incas developed new types of plants and animals. Experiments on how to grow food at high altitudes may have been done here. Was Machu Picchu a royal residence? Some archaeologists think Pachacutec, the Incas' greatest empire, built it as a summer home after he came into power in 1436. Because the Incas left no written records, archaeologists can't be certain about these ideas. But one thing I know for sure, the engineers, architects, and artists of Machu Picchu were creating a lasting monument that has survived earthquakes, storms, and jungle takeover. The aqueducts that once brought water to the city only needed to be cleaned out before water started running again. When Jamie told me this, I thought about Hiram Bingham, an American explorer who first saw the city in 1911. Jamie and Chapulin couldn't have given him the tour they gave me. The trees, bushes, and vines were so dense then that it took Bingham days to realize what an amazing ruin he had found. He brought in teams of workers and experts to clear away the jungle, begin the restoration, and study the ruins. Today, that work continues. I explored Machu Picchu for 3 days. I'll never know everything about this mysterious place, but what an adventure I had discovering what I did. Over here it says, wherever we went, Chapulin's waving tail was a flag for me to follow. And up here the caption says, Chapulin and Jamie lead the way to the plaza. On the left are 2 houses that have been re-roofed. So that means they put roofs back on them. Okay, now you can watch this again if you need to reread anything, but you should be going in and taking the quiz of questions about the article.